Hello there. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight isn't about learning or trying, it's about resting in the quiet space between thoughts. Take a slow breath in and let it drift out like a wave returning to the shore. You don't need to change anything, just notice how your body already knows how to relax, how your mind begins to soften when nothing is demanded of it. Outside, the world still moves. Lights flicker, clocks tick, the night air hums faintly, but here, time begins to blur. You can imagine the day gently folding itself away, every sound and color dimming until only stillness remains. The quiet around you is not empty, it's full of calm, waiting to hold you. Let yourself lean into it slowly, like settling into warm water. Tonight we'll drift through the soft edges of consciousness, not to analyze it, but to feel its texture. Consciousness is the gentle spark that lets you sense the pillow beneath you, the breath within you, the hush between heartbeats. You don't need to name it or define it. Just let yourself be aware of being aware, that simple, peaceful presence that has always been here. Every breath carries you deeper into that presence. Thoughts may come, then drift away again, light as mist. There's no need to hold or follow them. They'll pass on their own, the way clouds move across a quiet sky. You are the sky, wide, still, untouched by what passes through. As the world outside fades, you can feel your body becoming weightless. The hands rest, the jaw softens, the eyes grow heavy. A calm warmth spreads from the chest outward, steady and slow. The rhythm of your breath becomes the rhythm of the story, gentle, even unhurried. You don't have to stay alert. You don't even have to listen closely. The words can wash over you like ripples of sound, soothing and faint. Somewhere between waking and dreaming, your awareness will begin to sway, floating between moments, quiet and free. And if you notice the space between thoughts, that soft pause, that stillness, stay there for a moment. That's where this journey begins. The gentle hum of your mind, the fading glow of awareness, the quiet unfolding of the night, all becoming one long, peaceful breath. Now, the day is gone. The night is here to cradle you. Nothing more to think, nothing more to do. Just rest in the calm light of your own awareness, the quiet beginning of everything, and let sleep find you slowly, naturally, like the dusk settling over a still lake. Tonight, we wander deeper, not into facts to memorize, but into the quiet question that has followed humankind for as long as we've been able to ask it. What does it mean to be aware? What does it mean to be the one who notices? There are scientists who spend their entire lives exploring this, philosophers who build towers of thought to reach its edge, and poets who simply close their eyes and call it being alive. You don't need to pick a side. You don't even need to think hard. All you need to do is rest with the question softly, the way you might hold a small stone in your palm, feeling its shape, its temperature, its simple presence. Awareness begins like that quiet, ordinary, yet endless once you start to notice it. Some say consciousness is the awareness of your surroundings, the way you feel the air on your skin, or hear the hum of the night around you. Others believe it is deeper, the memory that links this moment to the last, the sense of being you across the unfolding of time. But definitions don't matter here. Tonight, consciousness is not a theory, it's a feeling, the soft awareness that you're here, breathing safe and awake inside a drifting world. If you listen closely, you might sense how awareness has layers. There's the outer world sound scent, the faint warmth of the air. Beneath that, there's the world within heartbeat, thought, emotion. And deeper still, there's the quiet space that simply watches it all. That stillness isn't something you create. It's already there. The mind doesn't have to search for it. It just remembers. Imagine lying beneath a tree, watching sunlight move through its branches. Each patch of light shifts as the wind turns the leaves, yet the tree remains still rooted. Consciousness is like that, the tree beneath all those flickering thoughts. You can rest in that still trunk of awareness even while sensations move above you. Everything that passes, every sound, every idea is just a leaf turning in the gentle breeze. Some call it the mind, others call it the soul. Some call it the silent witness behind every breath. Whatever name you prefer, it doesn't change the feeling, the sense of presence that quietly says, I am here. You've known it since you first opened your eyes to light, since you first felt the world touch your skin. That simple I am is where everything begins. It's easy to forget because the noise of life is so loud. Days are filled with things to do, people to meet, words to read. But now you've stepped away from all of that. Here there's only the rhythm of your breath and the slow sway of your thoughts. Consciousness does not demand effort, it only asks to be noticed. Let yourself feel the space behind your eyes, not as a thought, but as a soft openness. It's the space where imagination happens, where memories shimmer and dissolve. If you close your eyes, you might even feel the edges of your awareness expand a little, like light spilling through a doorway. There's no rush to go anywhere. Just breathe and notice the way your mind feels when it isn't trying to think. Somewhere within that calm, the borders between you and the world start to blur. The hum you hear might no longer feel separate. It becomes part of your awareness itself. The air against your skin, the pulse beneath your fingertips, even the weight of your body, they all belong to the same field of quiet knowing. You realize you're not simply in the world. You are the world experiencing itself for a brief luminous moment. This realization isn't meant to awaken you. It's meant to soothe you, to remind you that everything you experience, every flicker of thought, every emotion, every sound, is part of the same gentle stream of consciousness flowing through you. You don't need to control it. Just float. Let the current carry you. Consciousness, in the simplest sense, is the noticing that happens before words. The moment before you label something, before you call it good or bad. It's the pure awareness that just is. You feel it when you gaze at stars, when you listen to rain, when you hold someone's hand and forget where you end and they begin. It's both delicate and infinite, and it never really leaves you. For centuries, people have tried to describe it through science, art, meditation, and dreams, yet it remains one of the few things that can only be felt. The more you try to grasp it, the more it slips through. So instead of reaching just rest, let the mystery be what it is. Like the sound of the sea, you don't have to understand its depth to be comforted by its rhythm. And as you lie here now, breathing softly, you might notice something gentle. That awareness doesn't only live in your mind. It hums quietly in your chest, in the rise and fall of your breath, in the pulse beneath your fingertips. Every cell seems to whisper, I am alive. That whisper is consciousness too. So tonight, don't worry about what consciousness is. Just feel it, the simple, steady beingness that remains even when everything else fades. Feel it in the silence after each breath. Feel it in the pause between words. Feel it as your thoughts begin to slow, becoming lighter, fewer, drifting like feathers across the surface of your awareness. Soon, your body will grow heavier. The mind will soften into warmth and shadow. You'll drift toward dreams. But even there, awareness continues, reshaping itself into quiet stories and flickering light. You might not remember them when you wake, but that's all right. Consciousness doesn't mind. It flows through wakefulness and sleep alike, patient and unbroken. So let the question rest now. There's nothing you need to define, nothing you need to know. Just breathe and allow yourself to be part of this great, mysterious awareness that holds the stars, the oceans, and you quietly, completely without asking anything in return. And as your eyes grow heavy, know this: whatever consciousness truly is, it's here with you now, steady, calm, endless, watching over you as you fall gently into sleep. If you could listen closely enough, not with your ears, but with that still part of you that hears without sound, you would notice a hum within, a faint, delicate rhythm, almost like the whisper of static between radio stations. That hum is the quiet light of your own brain, sending tiny pulses of energy through billions of cells, all working together in perfect silence. It's soft, invisible, and constant, a glow that never truly fades, even when you close your eyes and drift into sleep. Each pulse is a small spark, a ripple of connection. Together they form the hidden language of thought, not words or sentences, but gentle flickers of electricity moving through a living night sky. Your brain hums with just enough energy to light a small bulb, and yet it illuminates an entire inner universe. Memories, sensations, and dreams, all woven together in ways too intricate to see. You are in a very quiet way, a constellation of light, thinking itself into being. Even now, as your body rests, the mind continues its careful, endless dance. While you drift toward sleep, it tends to the day's impressions, sorting, softening, reshaping them into gentler forms that will settle into memory by morning. You don't need to do anything. This quiet work is automatic, patient, and kind. It's your mind's way of tucking itself in, smoothing the edges of wakefulness until they blur into dreams. Imagine it for a moment. Deep within your skull, tiny rivers of light flow and branch like trees, glowing under moonlight. They spark when you think, they rest when you breathe. And even when you sleep, the glow continues, steady, unhurried, tending to the quiet maintenance of your being. Your heartbeat, your breath, your warmth, all guided by that gentle rhythm of signals, each one a note in the symphony of your life. You don't have to picture it exactly. Just let the idea drift softly across your mind the way starlight moves across the surface of a lake. Every cell in your body listens to those pulses, each heartbeat, each breath sinking to that calm inner rhythm. It's a kind of harmony you don't have to conduct. It knows what to do. You've carried this hum since the moment you first opened your eyes, and it will accompany you through every night of rest. Outside, the world sleeps cities, dim their lights, waves hush against distant shores, and trees sway quietly in the dark. But within you, there's a light that doesn't go out. It doesn't burn bright or harsh. It glows softly, steady as the moon. That is your consciousness, continuing even as your thoughts dissolve into calm. You are resting, but not gone quiet, but still very much alive. The mind's energy is humble. With such little power, it creates everything you know: colors, sounds, memories, emotions. It's astonishing, really, how much wonder can rise from such silence. You don't have to understand it, you can simply marvel at it. The same gentle electricity that lets you feel your breath is also the one that forms dreams, that gives shape to imagination, that lets you sense love, or safety, or peace. And right now, it's slowing. Those pulses are lengthening, deepening, preparing you for the stillness ahead. Each slow wave of energy brings you closer to rest. As the mind quiets, it releases the quick patterns of thought and slips into slower rhythms, the kind that cradle you, the kind that belong to sleep. You can think of it as a dimming of the stars within, not a loss, but a soft transition. Each spark folds itself into calm one by one, until only a faint, tranquil glow remains like embers in the fireplace after the fire has gone to rest. That's where dreams begin, in the low, slow shimmer between waking and nothingness. And maybe if you listen closely enough in this moment, you can feel it, that gentle hum beneath your thoughts. It's steady, peaceful, familiar. It doesn't rush, it doesn't strive, it simply is. You can lean into it the way you might lean into warmth on a cool night. Feel it under your ribs, behind your eyelids, in the quiet weight of your body sinking into the bed. You don't need to think about the science of it. You don't need to picture neurons or circuits or waves. Just know that something within you is always glowing, a small, tireless lantern that keeps your being connected even when everything else falls away. That light is your awareness, your presence, your quiet pulse of life. Let that idea hold you now. Let your breath slow until it matches the rhythm of that inner light. Inhale gently, as if breathing in moonlight. Exhale softly, as if releasing it back into the dark. Each breath smooths another layer of thought, loosens another knot of tension. The mind continues its calm work, weaving memory and silence together into rest. In this moment, there is nothing to fix, nothing to prove, nothing to carry forward. The light inside you doesn't need your attention. It simply shines, keeping everything alive while you let go. You can trust it. You can surrender to it. Soon, your awareness will drift not away from yourself, but deeper into that soft glow that has always been there. The hum will fade into the distance. The warmth will expand. And before you know it, your quiet light will guide you into dreams, not with a flash, but with the tender, steady rhythm of peace. Now breathe once more. Let the day dissolve completely. The light remains gentle and unbroken, guarding the space where your mind will rest. Everything you are, everything you have been, floats within that glow. Calm, infinite, softly alive. Sleep is near, and your quiet light, the one that hums beneath thought, and time will keep shining tenderly through the night. There is a quiet mystery in the way consciousness fades, not all at once, but like the slow dimming of twilight. You felt small echoes of it before that gentle blur, just before sleep, when thoughts loosen their grip, when time softens, when awareness begins to ebb. Tonight, we drift toward that threshold again, not to cross it quickly, but to rest beside it, to watch how awareness slips and returns softly, rhythmically, like waves brushing the shore. In hospitals and quiet rooms where science meets silence, doctors have watched the same transition in their patients, under anesthesia, Awareness doesn't vanish, it simply dims like a lantern turned low. The body sleeps, but deep within the mind continues its slow hum. Most of the time, that hum stays hidden, peaceful, out of reach, but rarely for a fleeting moment. A spark flickers back a fragment of voice, a whisper of light, a sensation of drifting just below the surface. Then it fades again, gentle as a sigh. These moments are not frightening, they're delicate. They remind us that awareness is not an on and off switch. It fades in gradients, like evening becoming night, or like fog moving across a quiet lake. Somewhere in those half-lit spaces, consciousness lingers, changing shape, not gone, only resting. And when it returns, it does so the same way, slowly, softly, with the patience of dawn. Imagine that moment, the world distant your body, weightless sounds, muffled into a soft hum. Then, somewhere far away, the light begins to return, not sharply, but with care. The senses awaken one by one, a warmth on the skin, a breath drawing in a quiet rhythm beneath the ribs. Awareness rises, not as a command, but as a gentle remembering, I am here. Even when the heart stops, when everything goes still, the mind holds on for a few fragile seconds more. Scientists have seen the faint patterns organized, structured, as if the brain continues to listen, to process, to stay aware just a little longer. Some who have come back describe strange, peaceful clarity, a floating sensation, a tunnel of brightness, the sound of distant voices, not pain, not fear, only calm, a final shimmer before release. It's tempting to look for answers there, to ask what it means. But tonight, you don't have to. These stories are not puzzles to solve. They are soft reminders of how gracefully awareness moves not a line, but a tide. It comes and goes, contracts and expands, like the rhythm of breath or the slow beating of the sea against the sand. As you rest now, your own awareness is following that same gentle curve. Each breath takes you a little farther from thought, a little deeper into quiet. The mind begins to float between waking and dreaming, not lost, not asleep, just hovering in a calm half-light. You may notice moments of drifting, then returning a thought, a sound, then silence again. This is how awareness ebbs, how it learns to let go without disappearing. If you close your eyes, you might imagine it as a dimming glow. Each breath softens it a little more, not extinguished, just subdued, waiting beneath the surface. The body grows heavier, the edges of the room fade, and only that quiet inner hum remains. You don't have to hold on to it. It knows how to find its way back. Awareness always does. And when it returns, perhaps in morning light, or in a dream that feels like waking, it will do so with the same tenderness, slowly, softly, almost unnoticed, like dawn finding its way through curtains, or warmth returning to your hands after the cold. You don't need to search for it. You are a part of its rhythm already, the slipping, the returning, the gentle glow between. So breathe now, quietly. Let the edges blur. Let awareness loosen its hold on shape and sound. There is nothing to fear. In fading, it's simply the mind's way of resting, of changing its form for a little while. The part of you that listens will keep listening. The part that breathes will keep breathing. You can drift without losing yourself. And as you do, think of the night sky. The stars seem to vanish with dawn, but they're always there, hidden, patient, waiting behind the light. Awareness is like that too. Whether dim or bright, it never truly leaves. It only changes the way it shines. Now, Let that thought settle soft and light. Feel the air move gently in and out. The world around you grows quieter, and inside you, the glow of awareness dims to a calm ember. The body is safe. The breath is slow. The mind is resting. And as sleep begins to rise to meet you, let it take your awareness kindly, like the sea gathering a drifting leaf. No rush, no end, just the soft rhythm of fading and returning. Always there, always gentle, always yours. Sometimes awareness is not a light that fills the whole sky. It's a single, quiet island floating in a vast, calm sea. Even when the body falls silent, when movement and speech disappear, there can still be a soft signal glimmering beneath the surface. A thought, a memory, a yes or a no, faint but alive. Tonight we'll drift there, to those hidden islands where the mind continues to whisper, even when the world believes it has gone still. In a quiet hospital room, a patient lies unresponsive. Machines hum softly beside the bed. Doctors speak in gentle tones. From the outside, there is no sign of wakefulness. The eyelids do not move. The lips do not part. Yet deep within, something remains, a spark of attention, small but unwavering. Scientists once asked these resting minds to imagine simple things: playing tennis, walking through their home, feeling sunlight against their skin. And to their astonishment, the brain responded. Inside the scanner, patterns of activity bloomed, faint, rhythmic lights, pulsing like waves across the ocean floor. When asked a question, the patient would picture movement. For yes, stillness. For no. No voice, no gesture, but communication all the same. A conversation carried on through thought alone. The body was quiet, but the mind was not lost. It was simply anchored in a deeper, slower current of awareness. You might wonder what that must feel like, to be so still yet awake, to have a world inside when the outside has gone silent. It isn't frightening when you imagine it softly. It's more like floating beneath the surface of a warm lake. The water holds you, muffles the noise above, and the light filters through in gentle patterns. There's a kind of peace in that quiet, a reminder that awareness can exist in many forms, loud or hushed, bright or dim, moving or still. Perhaps your own awareness has small islands too, moments when the outer world fades and only the inner one remains. When you lie still at night, half asleep, and thoughts drift like distant clouds. When your body rests, but your mind still glows faintly, turning over gentle memories or fragments of dreams. Those moments are not signs of wakefulness or confusion. They're reminders of how gracefully the mind shifts between worlds. Awareness, it seems, doesn't vanish. It just changes its shape. It can fill a room when you laugh, or hide in the smallest corner when you sleep. Sometimes it shines like sunlight. Other times it flickers like a candle in wind. And sometimes, like those patients in the scanner, it retreats into silence, choosing to speak only in images, not in words. That quiet endurance is a kind of beauty, the persistence of life's smallest spark. If you listen closely now, you might feel something similar within yourself. Not a thought, not a voice, but a hum beneath the hum. The subtle knowing that you are here, breathing, hearing, sensing, even as your body grows still. It's the same awareness that guided those hidden minds, that holds you softly as you drift towards sleep. You can trust it completely. It will not fade. It will only rest. Let your attention drift gently over your own body, the weight of your hands, the rise of your breath, the soft rhythm beneath your ribs. Each part of you has its own quiet intelligence, its own island of awareness. Your heart beats without asking. Your lungs expand without command. Even in deep sleep, your body keeps its promises steady and kind. The awareness that guides it is always awake, always patient. When you dream, it changes form again. It becomes a painter, a storyteller, a quiet architect of images and feelings. It builds small worlds for you to wander through, worlds where time bends, where people you've lost return, where light and memory weave together. You may not remember them when you wake, but awareness remembers. It carries them gently, storing them like soft seashells along the shore of your mind. Somewhere deep inside, there's a part of you that never sleeps. It watches quietly as the rest of you drifts. It doesn't judge or speak, it only observes. That watcher is your deepest awareness, the same presence that remains even when the outer world goes silent. You don't have to reach for it. It's already holding you. So as you lie here now, let yourself drift between these layers, from body to breath, from breath to thought, from thought to the soft stillness beneath it all. You don't need to stay alert. The islands of your awareness will guide you. They know how to navigate the tides of sleep. You can let go and still be safely held. Awareness doesn't disappear when it grows quiet. It simply becomes gentle, like a lighthouse seen through fog, its beam faint but steady. Even in deep rest, something in you continues to glow, continues to listen. And when morning comes, when your eyes open once again, that light will rise naturally to the surface, calm, patient, unbroken. Now take a slow breath in and let it flow out. Imagine yourself floating on a calm sea of consciousness, your body weightless, your mind resting. The waves move beneath you, but you don't need to steer. Just drift. The current knows where to go. And as the night deepens, you can let the last edges of wakefulness slip away. Somewhere inside your awareness remains a quiet island, glowing faintly in the dark, peaceful and whole. It doesn't need to speak or think or move. It simply exists steady and kind until the morning light finds it again. Rest there now in that soft, enduring glow. The body quiet, the breath slow, the mind floating free. The sea of sleep is waiting, and the islands of your awareness will keep you safe all the way through the night. There are moments when the world around you feels clear and bright, every shape, defined every sound, sharp against the air. And there are other moments, softer ones, when everything blurs, when vision feels less like seeing and more like sensing. Tonight, we drift into that gentle in-between, the mysterious space where the mind perceives without sight, where awareness itself becomes the eyes. Long ago, scientists discovered something strange. There were people who had lost the ability to see their eyes intact, but their visual centers quiet. They lived in darkness, yet when asked to reach toward an object or catch a falling shape, their hands moved in the right direction. They couldn't describe what they saw, and yet something within them knew. This quiet phenomenon is called blind sight. Without seeing knowledge, without knowing how it came, you might imagine it as standing before a curtain. The curtain is closed. No image, no color passes through, and yet behind it, the world still moves. The breeze still shifts the fabric. The light still leaks faintly through the seams. Something inside you can still sense it, faintly, wordlessly, like the memory of light. It reminds us that perception isn't only what our eyes deliver, it's what the mind weaves from the signals it trusts. So much of what you feel every moment is shaped by these unseen processes, tiny layers of awareness beneath awareness, guiding, adjusting, responding. Even as you listen now, your brain is quietly mapping the sound of this voice, the distance of your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat. You don't have to think about it, you just are. The mind is always working in gentle harmony with what lies beyond sight. Blind sight shows us that knowledge doesn't always need to be conscious. You can move through the world guided by something quieter. Intuition memory, the soft hum of experience. You may not see the path clearly, but still you find your way, like walking through dim light where your feet somehow know the ground before your eyes do. There's a comfort in that, a proof that even in darkness, you are never lost. Your mind is layered like an ocean. The surface catches the shimmer of the sun. That's the part of you that sees and thinks and speaks. But beneath it, deeper currents move unseen, steady, and powerful. They guide your choices, your reactions, your quiet knowing. You don't have to control them. They already know the way. Tonight, as you rest, those deeper currents are carrying you gently toward calm. In some people with split brain, where the bridge between the two halves of the brain has been divided, something even more extraordinary appears. Each side begins to notice the world in its own way. The right hand may choose one object, the left another, each responding to its own secret picture. Two streams of awareness flowing within the same body, silent, separate, yet still one being. It sounds mysterious, almost impossible, but in truth, it's simply another reminder that consciousness is not a single light, but a constellation. Imagine your own mind, that way many small lights scattered across a wide sky. Some shine brightly in your focus, others glimmer quietly, at the edges unseen, but still present. When you close your eyes, the lights don't go out. They only rearrange themselves. What you call you is not one spotlight, but a whole tapestry of quiet illuminations, weaving and unweaving with every breath. And if perception is a tapestry, not every thread needs to be visible. Some are buried deep within, holding the fabric together. You can't see them, but you'd notice their absence if they were gone. Tonight, let that be your metaphor. The hidden threads, the unseen senses, the silent knowing. You don't have to pull them apart to understand them. You only have to feel their softness beneath your thoughts. Your brain, even now, is guiding you gently, regulating your heartbeat, adjusting your breath, balancing the chemistry of calm. These are acts of deep intelligence, happening far below conscious sight. You don't witness them, yet they are the reason you feel safe enough to rest. That's blind sight in its truest sense, a trust in what you cannot see but always sense. When you close your eyes tonight, you might notice faint flashes behind the lids, patterns, colors, movements that come and go. Those are small echoes of your visual world, soft remnants of light stored in memory. Even when the world is dark, the mind paints its own quiet pictures. Perhaps it's not seeing the outside at all, but the inside, where thoughts and feelings meet in a glow too delicate to name. And maybe as you drift deeper, you'll begin to understand sight is not confined to the eyes. You see with every sense, The warmth of air on your skin, the tone of a familiar voice, the rhythm of your own breath. Awareness gathers these threads together, weaving a seamless experience of being alive. That is perception, a quiet collaboration between what you know, what you feel, and what you simply are. So, breathe now, slow and gentle. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let the world fade into that comfortable gray between seeing and not seeing. There's nothing you need to hold in focus. The body knows how to rest. The mind knows how to drift. Awareness will continue its quiet work, guiding you through darkness as faithfully as it does through light. Even in dreams, you'll keep seeing, not with eyes, but with memory and imagination, with emotion and quiet meaning. There, the mind will show you images woven from its own language, places you've never been, faces made of light, landscapes shaped by calm. It's all part of the same tapestry, the same silent intelligence that moves through you now. So let yourself fall into that softness. Let sight become feeling. Let thought become breath. You don't have to see clearly to be guided. You don't have to understand to be safe. The deeper parts of you are already watching over the rest. In this gentle dark, you are held by 1,000 quiet perception, each one a thread, each one a light, each one enough. Sleep well, small spark of awareness. The world will keep shimmering, even when your eyes are closed. There's a gentle space between what you remember and what you're living right now, a quiet distance that opens like the still air after a wave has passed. Tonight, as you lie here, you're not required to hold on to anything that came before. Memory has its own rhythm, its own tide, and it will take care of what's worth keeping. For now, all that matters is this breath, this heartbeat, this quiet moment where time softens into calm. Scientists have found that some medicines can keep a person alert awake, able to talk and listen, yet afterward, not a trace of those moments remains. The memory never forms. Awareness existed fully, but left no footprints behind. It's as if consciousness and memory briefly parted ways, each traveling along its own stream. It's strange to think about to be present, yet have the moment vanish like mist. But in a softer sense, that's what happens to all of us every night. You drift into sleep, thoughts come and go, dreams bloom and dissolve. By morning, only fragments remain a color, a feeling, a sentence half remembered. The rest slips quietly away, like footprints smoothed by the tide. And that's not a loss, it's a kindness. The mind knows what to let go of. It knows that not every ripple needs to be kept. Memory chooses lightly, sparing you from the weight of every detail, keeping your present free and open. Meditation teaches something similar. When the breath slows, when thoughts soften, the sense of I becomes faint, not gone, but quieter, like a shoreline under a calm tide. In that quiet, the boundary between self and world begins to dissolve. You feel less like a separate being and more like part of a larger stillness, aware yet untethered. This is the same peaceful drift that carries you toward sleep. It's not forgetting, it's release. So as you listen now, try not to hold on to each word. Let them wash over you. Let them pass without collecting them. You don't need to store them away or replay them later. The mind will remember only what it needs, the feeling of calm, the rhythm of breath, the gentle invitation to rest. Everything else can fade, like the evening sky after sunset, slowly, gracefully, till only quiet remains. Sometimes we think memory defines who we are, the faces we recall, the stories we tell, the small mosaic of moments that make up our past. But if you look closer, you'll see that most of what you are comes not from remembering, but from being. The warmth in your chest when you breathe deeply, the comfort of knowing you're safe, the awareness that you're here right now, and that's enough. Memory is a map of where you've been, but presence is the place where you live. Your brain, even as you rest, continues to tend to your memories like a careful gardener. It replays small pieces of the day, decides what to keep, and lets the rest dissolve. This is not forgetting, it's refinement. Each night, it chooses the softest petals to keep and lets the fallen ones drift away. You can trust that quiet process. You don't need to hold on. You can simply let the mind do what it's designed to do, to rest, to release, to renew. Notice how your breath moves through you, a small wave rising and falling, effortless and familiar. That's what memory does too. It rises when it's needed, then fades when it's done. If you try to hold the wave still, it breaks. But if you let it flow, it carries you farther gently. You can let your thoughts behave the same way tonight. Let them come and let them go. None of them demand your attention now. There's peace in realizing that not every moment needs to be remembered to be meaningful. The present moment has its own quiet beauty, one that doesn't depend on memory at all. The warmth of your blanket, the sound of your breath, the faint rhythm of your heart, they exist only now, and that is enough. You can live them fully without needing to keep them. You can experience them completely, then let them drift away. Think of how the ocean never clings to a single wave. It receives each one fully, then lets it go to make room for the next. Your awareness can be like that, open, soft, allowing. Every breath you take is a new wave, arriving every exhale, a wave returning home. You don't need to capture any of it. The beauty lies in the flow, not the holding. If a thought about tomorrow arrives, let it pass like a feather on water. If a memory of today lingers, watch it fade gently into stillness. You don't have to push it away. You don't have to follow it either. Just watch and breathe and rest in the space between remembering and releasing. That space, that calm, open pause is where sleep begins. Soon, your body will grow heavier, your thoughts slower. The edges between memory and dream will blur. You might sense images forming behind your closed eyes, shapes that come and go without reason. That's your mind rearranging itself, softening the sharpness of the day. You can let it happen. You can let it take you. And when you wake, the details of this night may fade. You may not recall every word, every sound, but your body will remember the calm. Your mind will remember the stillness. The feeling will remain even if the memory does not, because memory is not the same as now, and tonight now is all you need. So take another breath, slow and deep. Feel it fill your chest, then drift out, carrying away the remnants of thought. The day is already gone, folded quietly into the past. The future can wait until morning. You are here, suspended in the softness of this moment, present, peaceful, whole. And as your awareness begins to blur, as memory loosens its threads, let yourself fall gently into that quiet space between what was and what will be. No need to hold, no need to remember. Just being here is enough. Let the moment live and let it go. Sometimes the body is silent while the mind remains bright. Stillness on the outside can hide entire worlds within thoughts, memories, sensations all alive and waiting behind the quiet of skin and bone. Tonight, we'll drift gently into that quiet space where movement ends, but awareness continues, a soft reminder that what we see on the surface is never the full story of what exists inside. There are rare moments in medicine where the mind and body part ways, when injury or illness leaves a person unable to move or speak, though their consciousness stays whole. This state, called locked-in syndrome, is not sleep, not coma, but a paradox of awareness, complete clarity wrapped in stillness. From the outside, it may look like absence, but within, thoughts move freely, vivid, and intact. It's proof that the inner world can remain radiant even when the outer one falls quiet. Imagine for a moment what that might feel like, to live in stillness yet be fully awake, to sense light on your skin, to hear the hum of air, to dream with open eyes. You cannot reach outward, yet your awareness expands inward, vast and boundless. The body rests like a calm lake, but beneath the surface 1,000 ripples of thought continue whispering softly in the deep. It's not a tragedy to picture tonight, but a gentle lesson, a reminder that being still does not mean being empty. The human mind is extraordinary in this way. Even when every muscle falls silent, the light inside continues to glow. It remembers faces, voices, seasons. It recalls love and laughter, hopes and fears. Within that quiet chamber, it still tells stories, not with words, but with feeling, color, and imagination. Awareness does not depend on motion. It exists for its own sake, like a candle that burns in the dark, whether or not anyone sees its flame. And as you listen now, lying still beneath the weight of your own calm, you might notice that you are not so different. Your body is at rest. Your breath is slow, yet your mind continues to shimmer softly behind closed eyes. You are both still and alive, a consciousness suspended gently within a motionless form. There's peace in that, if you let it be. The stillness is not a prison, it's a cradle. Outside, the world has grown quiet. Street lights glow faintly through curtains. Night insects sing their slow songs, and the air feels heavy with rest. You don't need to move to belong to this moment. Every part of you, even the parts that seem motionless, participates in the rhythm of the night. The heart continues its patient pulse. The lungs rise and fall. The blood hums softly through its tiny channels. Movement continues where you can't see it, reminding you that even in stillness, life flows. Locked-in syndrome reminds us that being alive isn't measured by motion or words, but by awareness. The mind is more than what it can express. It's easy to forget that we often think that stillness means pause, that silence means emptiness, but awareness can be fullest in quiet places. You don't need to speak or act to exist completely. The truth of your being is not in what you do, but in what you feel within. Let that idea rest gently over you now. You are here breathing softly, aware of sound of space, of the faint warmth between you and the world. You don't have to move to be part of it. Stillness is not separation, it's connection in its purest form. When the surface quiets, the deeper layers of you begin to glow, the steady light of thought, the rhythm of heart, the calm watchfulness of the soul. If you let yourself drift into that awareness, you might find it feels peaceful, like floating weightless in warm water. There's no need to reach or grasp. The stillness itself holds you. The mind knows what to do, even when the body rests. You can trust it the same way you trust your breath to continue while you sleep, or your heart to beat without your asking. You are safe within your stillness. Somewhere inside you, there is a small light that has never gone out. It burns quietly beneath all the noise and motion of life. When everything else slows, when words stop, when the body grows heavy, that light is what remains. Awareness is that light. Thought is its flicker. And tonight, as you drift deeper, you are simply returning to it, resting in the center of your own quiet glow. Try to feel it now, that subtle brightness behind your eyes, that warmth in your chest. It doesn't need to be sharp or clear. It's enough to know that it's there, patient and gentle. It's the same awareness that watches your dreams, that listens to the rhythm of your breath. It's what remains when everything else fades, steady as a star behind thin clouds. Your body might be still, but your mind is a living landscape. Within it, colors shift, memories unfold, and feelings drift like slow clouds through the sky of awareness. Every thought is a small light rising, glowing, and fading again. You don't need to follow them. Just watch them pass calm and easy. The still body, the bright mind together, they create a perfect balance of rest. You can let go now. There is nothing left to prove, nowhere to go. Stillness has its own beauty, its own purpose. You are allowed to be motionless, to let the world move around you while you remain anchored in peace. In this calm, you are not locked in. You are held by the quiet hum of life, by the soft gravity of the earth, by the steady rhythm that has carried you since birth. Let the edges of thought blur. Let your breathing deepen. Let your awareness drift softly toward the border of sleep. The body will remain still. The mind will continue its silent shimmer. Between them, there is harmony, the peaceful conversation of light and rest. And as you slip into that space, still but awake, silent but alive, remember your inner light never fades. Even in stillness, you shine. Even in silence, you are heard. Even in sleep, you remain whole. There is a fragile edge where night and morning meet a borderland between sleep and wakefulness, where the mind wanders freely and the body simply follows. In this twilight place, dreams have not yet dissolved and reason has not yet returned. You've been here before, in the moments just before waking, when everything feels strange, but gentle, unreal, yet safe. Tonight will linger there for a while, drifting between worlds. Sometimes the body moves, while the higher mind continues to dream. It rises, walks, opens a door guided not by thought, but by deeper rhythms of the brain. This is sleepwalking, the body's quiet rehearsal of life, unfolding while awareness rests. To the one moving the world is hazy, soft, full of muted echoes. The moonlight might look like dawn, the hallway like a forest path. There's no danger in the image, only mystery, the kind that disappears the moment you open your eyes. Then there are nights when the opposite happens, when the mind wakes before the body does. You open your eyes, see the room around you, but something holds you still. You try to move, but your limbs are heavy, quiet, distant. This is sleep paralysis, that fleeting moment when wakefulness and sleep overlap, and your body, still safe in its dreaming state, hasn't caught up yet. You might sense a shape in the corner or a shadow across the ceiling, but these are only dream fragments lingering slow to fade. If such a moment ever visits you, remember this, it always passes. The body is not frozen in fear, it's simply still in its safety. Breathing slowly helps the sky of your mind clear. Each breath returns control, one small wave at a time. Inhale, feel the air widen the chest. Exhale, feel the calm return. The paralysis softens like mist under sunlight. The world steadies itself again. Between sleep and wake, awareness moves like a tide. It drifts and recedes and returns. In that space, you may feel both weightless and heavy, both real and imagined. It's not confusion, it's transition, the mind crossing a quiet bridge between two worlds, carrying the echo of dreams into the first light of waking thought. You can rest there if you wish, without needing to move. The body will find its rhythm in time. Scientists have studied this strange borderland for decades, measuring brainwaves as people float in and out of consciousness. They found that the mind never switches states. Instantly, it eases between them, like dusk fading into night. Some parts wake first, others linger behind. It's a delicate balance, a choreography between neurons, a gentle conversation between body and mind. You don't have to understand the details to feel the beauty of it, the way the mind holds both worlds at once. When you fall asleep, awareness doesn't vanish. It retreats like light beneath the ocean surface. It still glows there, faint and slow, guiding your dreams, tending to the deep work of rest. When you wake, it rises again, not with a jolt, but like dawn touching the edge of the sea. The two states are not opposites, but reflections, each nourishing the other. You sleep so that you may wake with clarity. You wake so that sleep may return when it's ready. You can think of this threshold as a gentle shoreline. Each wave is a breath. Each thought is a ripple, spreading outward, fading into calm. If your mind drifts tonight, half dreaming, half aware, there's no need to pull yourself back. It's natural. You are simply standing at the water's edge of your own consciousness, watching both tides move at once. Some ancient traditions called this the doorway hour, a sacred interval when the body rests in stillness, but the soul roams freely. In that quiet overlap, creativity, memory, and intuition often mingle. That's why dreams sometimes offer answers, or why a thought may return with new meaning just before sleep. It's not magic, it's the soft cooperation between two halves of the same mind, each carrying what the other cannot. As you lie here, feel how easily your body mirrors that rhythm. Your breath slows and deepens. Your eyelids grow heavy. The line between inside and outside begins to blur. Sounds melt into distance. Maybe the low hum of the night, or the faint pulse in your ears. You are halfway here, halfway gone, and that's all right. You don't have to choose. If your body feels heavy, let it. If your mind feels light, let it drift. There's no wrong direction. Awareness is not a ladder you climb. It's a tide that moves through you, sometimes lifting, sometimes lowering. All you need to do is float. You may find that thoughts still come small, bright fragments, ideas, or memories, but they fade more quickly now. Let them. Don't chase them. Don't hold them. They are like dream echoes, dissolving in the light of your growing calm. Soon even words will feel unnecessary, replaced by a silence more eloquent than language. And when sleep finally comes, it won't be sudden. It will be gentle, like a door opening inward, like mist folding over water. You'll drift through that space between sleep and wake, the same way the earth turns from dusk to night, quietly, naturally, without effort. Awareness will let go slowly, and the body will follow. So breathe deeply, softly. Let your thoughts loosen. You are safe here, balanced between two worlds that both belong to you, the waking mind and the dreaming one, neither fully gone, neither fully here, weaving together into one continuous hum. And when you finally sink into sleep, it won't feel like falling. It will feel like returning, like the mind laying down its burdens, the body surrendering its weight, and both meeting again in stillness. Between sleep and wake, you are whole, the dreamer, and the dream, the calm, and the breath, the silence, and the sky. There are nights when time feels like water, soft, slow, unhurried, and you can almost see it moving, rippling gently around you. The seconds don't tick, they breathe. The minutes don't march forward, they drift as if carried by the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Tonight, as you lie here, you might notice that same softness, arriving a calm dilation of the moment, an easing of the usual rush. Nothing is demanding your attention now. Time can widen, and you can rest inside it. When people face moments of danger, the mind sometimes slows the world down. Every detail sharpens a drop of rain, suspended in the air, a sound stretching longer than it should. Scientists say it's because the brain begins recording more information per second, creating the illusion of slower time. It's not that time changes, but that awareness expands, holding more than it usually does. It's strange, isn't it, how our sense of time bends with the quality of our attention, how it stretches in fear, or love, or wonder. But tonight, there's no urgency, no threat, no need for the mind to sharpen its focus. Instead, it's allowed to blur the edges, to move softly and without effort. You may notice the breath slowing, not because you tell it to, but because the body remembers what peace feels like. Each breath becomes a long thread, unwinding into stillness. In this slowness, the mind can rest, not asleep yet, but drifting toward the quiet where sleep begins. There are other moments too when the sense of me seems to dissolve during deep meditation or under the glow of certain psychedelic states, or when one becomes fully absorbed in beauty. In those moments, time folds open. The boundaries that define you, the edges between self and world fade. You are not counting the minutes anymore. You are simply in them. This isn't a loss, it's a merging. The same way the ocean doesn't lose itself. When a wave disappears, it just returns to stillness. You may have felt this too, in small ordinary ways. Watching clouds drift on a warm afternoon, listening to rain fall steadily on a window, sitting by candlelight, lost in a quiet thought. In those moments, you aren't measuring time, you're inhabiting it. The seconds don't separate you from the world, they carry you through it. There's no clock inside such peace, only rhythm, breath, pulse, the slow hum of being alive. As you rest here now, you can let yourself enter that same space, the kind where nothing needs to be achieved, where the day stops reaching forward and the night stops counting backward. Let each breath lengthen like a soft tide returning to shore. Feel how the chest rises and falls, how the air moves with patience, how the world outside begins to blur at the edges. That's what it means for time to stretch, not to slow down, but to open up. In the daytime, your mind keeps time by measuring, by separating one thing from another. It notices what came before, what must come next. It fills the space between with effort and motion. But in the night, the mind doesn't need to measure anymore. It can unfold like fabric loosening in water. It can hold a moment without dividing it into past and future. This is where rest begins, not in stopping time, but in letting go of its shape. If you've ever been deeply absorbed in something music art, the sound of your own heartbeat, you've already felt it. That weightless suspension when minutes dissolve and hours disappear. When you look up and realize that the world has kept moving, but you stayed still inside it. This gentle immersion is a kindness your brain gives you. It's the same kindness that comes when you begin to fall asleep, when attention softens and the walls between one thought and the next grow thin. There's a sweetness in that surrender. You no longer need to hold your place in the timeline. You don't need to remember what hour it is or how many breaths have passed. You are no longer a clock ticking your way through the world. You are a part of the quiet pulse beneath it, the same pulse that beats through stars, oceans, and seasons. Time doesn't pass here. It hums. It glows softly like light through closed eyelids. Notice, too, how the body follows the mind's example. When your thoughts slow, so does the pulse. The breath deepens. The muscles unwind. It's as if every cell understands the language of calm. There is no rush to reach sleep. It will come when the body has settled enough to forget the need for it. You can simply breathe rest and let the seconds stretch until they lose their edges completely. In this softened time, dreams begin to form faint impressions at first, like shadows underwater. The mind begins to drift between thoughts and images, between real and imagined. There's no clear border, only transition. You might see something a color, a place, a memory that fades as soon as it appears. This is how the dream world enters quietly, politely, as if knocking before it steps in. If your mind wanders, let it. Don't pull it back. Don't hold it still. Just let it float like dust in sunlight. Every breath is a current, carrying you deeper into this calm. You are not falling asleep so much as being drawn into it by gravity, by rhythm, by the natural gentleness that lives inside you. Time isn't something to escape from, it's something to melt into. You might remember how time used to feel when you were a child, wide, infinite, without structure. The long afternoons that felt like whole worlds. The way a single minute could stretch forever if you were waiting, or vanish instantly if you were dreaming. That sense never truly left you. It only hid beneath schedules, alarms, and responsibilities. But right now, here in this quiet, you can touch it again. That simple, timeless awareness that asks for nothing. So let it return. Let time lose its edges around you. Let the mind stop counting. Let your body find its rhythm, like the earth turning slowly beneath the stars. You don't need to move towards sleep. It will come to you. Just breathe. Just listen to the silence expanding. Feel how the night grows deeper, how the air thickens with calm. And as you drift further inward, know that this is not an escape from time. It's a reunion with it. You're not leaving the world behind. You're entering its quiet heart, where everything moves at the pace of breath. Here minutes are soft, hours are kind. The universe itself seems to exhale. So rest now. Let the seconds stretch until they disappear. Let your awareness dissolve into that slow, silken rhythm. There is no hurry, no countdown, no goal. There is only stillness, the gentle unfolding of time, and you floating peacefully within it. There's something quietly miraculous about the mind that listens to these words right now. Beneath the surface of calm, millions of tiny cells are whispering to each other, exchanging signals, shaping thoughts, balancing emotion. It happens without command, without noise, without you even noticing. And in that silence, your brain is constantly changing, growing, healing, adapting to the rhythms of your life. You don't need to feel it to believe it. You are in this very moment, a living work in progress. When scientists look closely at the brain, they see not a fixed machine, but a shifting landscape, one that bends and rebuilds itself like sand dunes in the wind. Pathways that once faded can spark to life again. After an injury, new routes can form guiding signals along fresh trails. The brain doesn't give up easily. It rewires. It relearns. It adapts with quiet determination, finding new ways to let you see, speak, move, remember love. Even in rest, that gentle work continues soft and patient as the tide. This ability is called neuroplasticity, but you don't need the word tonight. All it means is that you are not static. You are change made visible through thought. Every experience, every breath, every dream slightly reshapes the living tissue inside your skull. The patterns of your memories are drawn not in stone but in water, able to ripple, to mend, to flow again. It's why recovery is possible. It's why healing, though slow, can happen in ways that surprise even those who study it. You might find it humbling to know that even the sense of you, your personality, your way of seeing the world, arises from this soft, shimmering web of connections, a delicate balance of chemistry and electricity gives rise to laughter, to sadness, to love. Tiny changes in that balance can shift how the world feels brighter, dimmer, warmer, or strange. It's not frightening to think this way, it's grounding. It reminds us that consciousness is not something far away or mystical. It's made of matter, of living cells that learn. Think about it: a single thought, a single image sparks a cascade of activity across vast networks. When you recall a memory, when you listen to music, when you dream, different regions light up and speak to one another, forming new bonds with every conversation. You are never quite the same from one moment to the next. The brain is always editing, refining, strengthening what it uses, and releasing what it no longer needs. It's like a garden, growing new shoots, pruning others, quietly reorganizing toward balance. Even in sleep, this rebalancing continues. The brain replays fragments of your day, filing memories, discarding noise, restoring order to the systems that keep you whole. As you drift tonight, that process deepens. The connections that matter will grow stronger. The clutter will fade away. Your body rests, but your mind is gently tidying itself, washing through old pathways, clearing space for calm and clarity. You don't have to do anything. You can just let it happen. When a person suffers injury to the brain, something extraordinary can occur. Other regions begin to take over the lost functions, learning to perform what they never had before. A damaged area doesn't always mean a permanent loss. The mind finds detours, alternate ways to reach the same destination. It's like water finding a new route down a mountain when the old stream is blocked. It may take time, but life keeps flowing. And that same resilience is within you even now as you rest. Every challenge you've lived through has changed your brain in some small way. Every bit of effort, every new skill, every act of kindness or understanding, all of it leaves traces in the living architecture of your mind. Some pathways strengthen, others fade. The story of your life is written in those invisible connections, and yet they're not permanent. They keep rewriting themselves, creating room for growth and peace. The person you were a year ago, a day ago, even an hour ago still lives within you, but you've changed since then. Gently, quietly, naturally. And if you've ever wondered how much of you is physical, the answer in a way is all of it. Your personality, your humor, your warmth, they're born from electrical whispers passing through living tissue. But that doesn't make you mechanical. It makes you miraculous. To think that so much light can arise from matter, that thought can bloom from cells, that kindness can be carried on currents of ions and molecules. It's beautiful, not cold. You are both biology and poetry, perfectly intertwined. Sometimes, people find this realization unsettling, the idea that the self depends on something so fragile. But fragility and strength often live together. The same brain that can be hurt can also repair. The same circuits that misfire can relearn balance. It's not weakness, it's design. Evolution gave us a mind that bends without breaking, that heals through use, that finds harmony through repetition. Every breath you take, every slow heartbeat, every dream tonight, they are all part of that harmony returning. As you lie here, you can almost imagine it inside your head, tiny sparks weaving connections, small cells reaching out to one another in silent cooperation. It's a dance that never ends, though you will never feel it happening. The brain hums softly through the night, shaping itself to the rhythm of your rest. In the morning, you'll wake slightly different than you were before, a little lighter, a little more balanced, a little more ready for the day to come. For now, you can simply breathe and trust in that process. There is nothing to fix, nothing to improve. Your brain already knows how to restore itself, just as the ocean knows how to calm after a storm, or trees know how to reach for light. Your mind knows how to heal. All you must do is rest and allow the gentle currents of sleep to carry that wisdom forward. So let the breath come and go, slow and steady. Let your body sink deeper into stillness. The soft hum of your thoughts is not noise, it's renewal. Every cell within you is listening, learning, adjusting, creating new ways to hold your peace. You are not static, you are alive in motion, even now, even in sleep. And as you drift toward dreams, remember this truth: you are not broken, and you are never finished. You are endlessly forming, endlessly becoming. The flexible brain you carry, quiet, tireless, alive, is the proof that change is not the enemy of peace. It's the heartbeat of life itself. So breathe and let that thought cradle you as your mind remakes itself in rest. Close your eyes for a moment. Even without sight, your mind can still see, not through light or color, but through memory, through imagination, through the soft geometry of what it already knows. The brain never stops painting the world for you. It takes every sound, every touch, every faint signal, and smooths it into something you can live inside. What you call reality is not simply what enters your senses. It's what your mind shapes for you quietly, patiently, every second. Think of a hand that is no longer there, yet still feels present. Some people who lose a limb can still sense it, a warmth, a movement, even a curl of fingers that no longer exist. This is the phenomenon of the phantom limb. The brain's map of the body remains whole even when the body changes. That part of the map glows with memory, with habit, with the echo of sensation that once was. It's not illusion, it's the mind refusing to erase what it still loves. Therapists discovered something simple, yet profound if you place a mirror beside the remaining hand and let the reflection show both hands moving. The brain can be comforted. It sees the missing hand return, and the pain or tension sometimes melts away. The brain is not fooled. In a childish sense, it's soothed. It finds an image that makes sense again, a picture it can accept. This gentle reconciliation shows just how deeply your mind craves harmony, how tenderly it protects your sense of wholeness. Even in complete darkness, the mind continues to build a world. People who are blind from birth often learn to navigate using sound, the faint click of the tongue, the soft echo off walls and corners. It's a kind of biological sonar, a translation of sound into space. Their brains reassign visual regions to process echoes instead. The visual cortex lights up not for sight, but for sound, as if the brain says, if I can't use light, I will use what I have. Awareness finds its way, no matter the obstacle, and in silence or sensory isolation, the opposite can happen. The brain starts to create its own input. People in deep darkness sometimes see shimmering shapes, faint lights that dance behind closed eyes. In total quiet, they might hear tones or music that seem to come from nowhere. The brain does this not out of confusion, but out of care. It fills the emptiness so the world will not feel too distant. It keeps you company, even in stillness. That's what your mind does every day, though you rarely notice. It edits blends, invents small details to make life continuous and familiar. It corrects for the small gaps in your vision, fills in the missing parts of sound. It softens harsh transitions, smoothing the edges of the world so that you can feel at home within it. You don't see everything as it truly is, and that's a kindness. What you perceive is what you need to perceive to stay steady, safe, and whole. You might think of your perception as a camera objective, mechanical detached, but the truth is much gentler. Your mind is not a lens, it's a painter. It doesn't record reality, it interprets it. It uses colors drawn from memory, emotion, expectation. It paints over the noise and chaos of sensation with the soft brushstrokes of familiarity, creating a world that feels stable, continuous, and yours. Every person lives within their own painted world, shaped by the same biology, but brushed with different experiences. No two minds see the same sunset in quite the same way. The light that reaches your eyes is just the beginning. Your brain completes the rest, filling in shadows, deepening color, giving meaning to what might otherwise be random waves of energy. The world you experience is not simply out there, it's within you, built anew every heartbeat. Even now, as you rest, your mind is quietly maintaining that illusion. It listens to the faint sounds around you, the whisper of air, the pulse in your ears, and turns them into a coherent landscape. It senses your body against the bed, the temperature of the air, the rhythm of your breathing. And from these tiny details, it reconstructs you here, safe in the quiet room, lying between thought and dream. Your perception isn't lying to you. It's protecting you. It's crafting a world where you can belong. When a sound startles you, it's the brain saying, I'm watching for you. When a pattern seems familiar, it's saying, I've seen this before. You're safe. Every sensation, even the smallest, is a collaboration, a partnership between the world and the mind that receives it. Sometimes, when people lose one sense, another grows stronger. The blind can see with their ears. The deaf can feel rhythm through vibration. The brain redistributes itself, never stagnant, always searching for balance. It's like a river finding new paths. When an old one closes, no matter how the landscape changes, the current flows on. You are that current, adaptive, resilient, endlessly creative. And when you dream, the same painter awakens. It mixes memory with imagination, emotion with fragments of reality, creating vivid worlds where impossible things feel natural. Mountains float, time bends, faces change shape. But even in dream, the same principle applies. Your brain is trying to make sense of chaos, to build a place for you to exist, even when logic sleeps. It keeps you connected to a story, one continuous thread of being. So, as you drift deeper tonight, imagine that painter inside your head, patient, tireless, kind. With each breath, it smooths the rough edges of thought. With each heartbeat, it adds warmth to the image of your world. It doesn't need perfect light or sound. It only needs you to trust it, to let it create the peace you seek. If you listen carefully now, you might sense that painting unfolding, the soft rhythm of breath, the faint hum in your ears, the gentle awareness of your body's weight, all of it blending into a single picture of calm. You are both the painter and the painting, the dreamer and the dream. Let that thought settle in you. Let your perception soften until the world feels fluid and safe. The brain that builds your world will keep working through the night, maintaining the harmony that keeps you whole. You don't need to control it. You only need to rest. And as you do, your inner painter will keep smoothing every edge, coloring every shadow, turning the unknown into something gentle. The world you wake to tomorrow will be new again, quietly rearranged, perfectly familiar. Until then, drift deeper into the canvas of your mind and let it hold you safe, warm, and endlessly at home. Sleep is not silence. It is a quiet conversation between your mind and your body, between your waking world and the world that waits behind your eyelids. Even now, as you drift closer to rest, your brain is still listening, still speaking softly in its own mysterious language. The rhythm of your breath, the pulse behind your temple, the faint hum of your thoughts, all of it is dialogue. You are not disappearing into sleep. You are entering a gentle exchange. Scientists once thought sleep was a full surrender. A switch flipped the mind, gone dark. But they were wrong. The sleeping brain is alive, with whispers, threads of thought weaving through dream. Some people, known as lucid dreamers, can even answer simple questions from within their dreams. Their eyes flick in coded patterns, responding to signals sent from the waking world. Imagine that half here, half there, one foot in each reality, carrying on a conversation across the veil. In the lab, when researchers asked, "Can you hear us?" the dreamer's eyes moved, left, right, left, the agreed upon sign for yes. Then the dream continued, as if nothing had happened. Awareness didn't vanish in sleep. It softened, stretched, took on another shape. It reminds us that sleep is not a wall, but a door left ajar. The mind behind that door still listens, still feels, still dreams. Sometimes, though, sleep becomes even stranger. There are moments when awareness briefly flickers off, like a light dimming, but not extinguished. During certain types of seizures, consciousness may vanish for seconds, while the body remains upright, breathing balanced. When awareness returns, there's no sense of loss, only a gap, a missing fragment of time. These moments show that consciousness isn't one thing, but many networks woven together, sometimes separating, sometimes reuniting. And yet none of this needs to feel frightening. Here it's simply humbling, a reminder that you're made of connection. Every thought, every dream, every flicker of attention depends on threads that knit your being together. When you sleep, those threads loosen, but never break. The brain continues to hum softly beneath the surface, repairing, learning, listening. Even in dreams, your neurons exchange stories, like gentle voices in the dark. Dreaming itself is another kind of conversation, one where the mind speaks in images instead of words. It remembers fragments of the day, reshapes them into symbols, plays them out like theater in the dark. Sometimes it feels like nonsense. Sometimes it feels profound. But every dream is part of that quiet dialogue between what you know and what you feel. The conscious mind rests, but the deeper self continues to speak. If dreams visit you tonight, let them flow like a river, calm, unhurried, meandering through valleys of imagination. Don't try to steer them. Don't demand meaning. Just let them move through you, carrying away the remains of the day. And if wakefulness returns for a while, let it be gentle, the shoreline to which that river flows. You can rest on that edge, half asleep, half aware, without needing to swim back or forward. The current will find its way. Your mind and body are always in conversation, even when you're not aware of it. When you breathe deeply, the body tells the brain, "I am safe." When the heart slows, the brain replies, "Then I can rest." Each system listens to the others. A dialogue older than words, older than thought. That's why breathing slowly can ease anxiety. Why stillness can quiet the mind. You're not commanding yourself to calm down. You're speaking softly to your own biology. Right now, that language is at work. With every breath, your brain receives the message that you're safe enough to sleep. The heart responds in kind. The muscles soften, the mind lowers its guard. The conversation becomes slower, quieter, like the hush that falls after rain. You don't need to control it. You only need to listen to its rhythm. Inhale, exhale, the body's steady way of saying, "I am here." Sometimes you may wake in the middle of the night, the mind bright for no reason, the world still around you. That too is part of the dialogue. The body may be asking for patience, for movement, or simply reminding you that consciousness drifts in waves, not lines. If that happens, don't fight it. Let wakefulness feel like a tide that will soon ebb again. Listen, breathe. Let yourself float on its surface until sleep returns. The line between waking and dreaming is not sharp. It's porous, shimmering. Lucid dreamers live on that border, but so do we all. The half-dream moments before sleep, the flashes of imagery upon waking, these are the mind's way of saying hello and goodbye at once. It's not confusion, it's communication. The two worlds acknowledging each other before trading places. You can think of sleep as the world speaking back to you. Every heartbeat, every flicker of dreamlight, every shift in breath, it's all response. You ask nothing of it, yet it answers. Tonight it will answer in softness. It will offer you images shaped from your own quiet desires, colors mixed from calm. And when you wake, it will return you gently to morning, a new page, a clearer mind. So as you settle deeper into stillness, Let yourself be part of that conversation. Let the body speak. First, loosen your shoulders, unclench your hands, breathe. Let the mind reply, I'm listening. Then do nothing more. The dialogue will continue without words, in pulses, in dreams, in silence. You are both speaker and listener, question and answer. Sleep is not the absence of awareness. It is its transformation. It's where your thoughts learn to rest, where your senses turn inward, where the self folds into something vast and peaceful. You can trust that. You can let go. And when the dreams begin, as they surely will remember, they are your mind's gentle reply. Let them carry you where they wish. Let them speak in symbols and rivers. Let wakefulness, when it returns, arrive like a soft shoreline. All of it belongs to the same quiet exchange, the endless conversation between who you are and who you are becoming, one calm night at a time. If you could listen closely enough, beneath thought, beneath the hum of blood and breath, you would hear it the quiet music of your mind. It has no melody, no lyrics yet. It moves in gentle waves, rising and falling in patterns more ancient than words. Every emotion, every flicker of awareness has its own rhythm. Tonight, as the world grows softer and your breathing slows, that inner music begins to change the tempo, easing the tones, deepening, until all that remains is a lullaby shaped by silence. Your brain never truly sleeps. Even now, as you rest, it pulses with electrical tides that travel across its surface like slow ocean swells. These are the brain's waves, invisible, but as real as wind on water. When you are alert, they ripple quickly, like sunlight glinting off restless seas. When you begin to relax, they lengthen and smooth. Awareness stretches. The rhythm softens. You begin to drift from one kind of wakefulness into another. There are names for these patterns, though you don't need to remember them. Scientists call them alpha, theta, delta, each one a different pulse of consciousness. Alpha waves hum through calm wakefulness when the mind is quiet, but open the way it feels when you're watching clouds or listening to rain. Theta appears in the borderlands between thought and dream, where images wander and creativity blooms. And delta, the slowest, deepest rhythm, carries you into dreamless sleep, where the mind restores itself completely. You don't have to learn this language. You already speak it. Each breath you take is in harmony with these waves, each heartbeat keeping time. The body and brain are instruments in the same orchestra, guided by the same conductor, calm. As your thoughts grow quieter, the frequencies change, one sliding gently into the next. It's not something you control, it's something you allow. Think of your brain as a vast sea at night. In the distance, small ripples shimmer. Those are the quick waking waves, the bright thoughts that skim the surface. But as the sun sets and the mind softens, the water grows still. Beneath the surface, deeper currents move in long, slow arcs. Those are the waves of rest, strong enough to wash the day away, slow enough to cradle you safely through the dark. Every feeling, every dream, every heartbeat is part of this music. Even silence has a sound when you listen this way. The hush between breaths, the faint hum in your ears, the slow rhythm of the chest, rising and falling together, they form a symphony of stillness. You don't have to add anything. The song is already playing. All you need to do is hear it. Some nights the mind hums faster, thoughts fluttering. like restless strings, unfinished ideas echoing in the dark. That's all right. The music is not broken, it's simply warming down. The body knows how to slow the tempo on its own. Each slow breath tells the brain, it's safe now. The day is over. The song can fade. The tempo falls a little lower. The notes grow longer. The melody stretches thin until it disappears into quiet. Even dreams have their rhythm. During REM sleep, the mind's tempo rises again, quick and light, like birdsong before dawn. You move through shifting landscapes, faces, memories, colors, and each one has its own cadence. But even in dreams, the underlying rhythm stays kind. It's not the rhythm of rush or fear, but of flow, steady, circular, complete. When you wake, you might not remember the tune, but your body will remember the calm it left behind. This gentle music never stops even when you think it has. In moments of focus, it sharpens to a hum. In moments of awe, it opens wide like a choir. And when you are tired, it quiets to a single low note, long and pure, holding you until morning. The mind, for all its complexity, seeks only harmony. It wants to balance, to synchronize, to return to stillness after each crescendo. Let yourself feel that balance now. Notice how your breath naturally slows to match your heart's rhythm. Notice how your thoughts drift in and out like soft percussion, appearing and fading without effort. There's no need to chase them. They are simply part of the song, brief notes dissolving into space. When the music grows too loud, the body knows how to turn the volume down. When it grows too quiet, it knows how to begin again. You are not separate from this music. You are made of it. Every neuron's spark, every breath's whisper, every pulse of blood through your veins, all of it is sound. All of it is rhythm. The calm you feel isn't just in your mind, it's in your entire being from head to toe. You are the orchestra, the melody, the silence between the notes. Sometimes when you close your eyes, you might notice a gentle hum behind your thoughts, a tone that isn't from the outside world. That's your mind's quiet background song. It's always there, steady as the stars. You can listen to it without trying. You can let it soothe you without understanding it. That hum is your connection to the vastness of life, the reminder that even in stillness, you are alive and moving. As night deepens, the music changes once more. The bright notes of the day fade to low chords of peace. The rhythm slows until it matches your breath. The entire symphony narrows to one simple steady pulse, your heart the drummer that never sleeps. Around it, silence gathers like velvet. The world outside quiets. The mind begins to rest. So listen now to the soft melody of your own calm, to the rhythm that carries you, to the hush between thoughts where peace lives. You don't need to analyze or remember. You only need to be here, letting your inner music play itself out. Soon, the final notes of wakefulness will fade, and you'll slip into the slowest, gentlest rhythm of all, the one that carries you through dreams, through rest, through healing. Your mind will hum more quietly, like a song lowering its volume as the night deepens. And in that quiet, you'll find what you were searching for, all along the simple, endless music of being alive. Every night, as you drift into sleep, a quiet librarian begins her work inside your mind. She moves gently through the day's events, filing some away, letting others fade, choosing what to keep and what to release. You don't hear her, you don't feel her, but she is there in the center of your brain, in a small curved region. called the hippocampus. Each night, she smooths the pages of your experience, so when morning comes, you can wake a little lighter, a little clearer. Inside that hidden space, your brain is alive with tiny flashes of light, short bursts called ripples. They are the soundless echoes of your day replayed in miniature, reorganized into order. It's how your memories settle, how meaning takes root. The mind sorts what matters from what does not. A scent, a glance, a moment of laughter, and stores them like soft photographs in a long, winding album. The rest, the noise, the clutter dissolves quietly into the dark. You don't have to direct any of it. The process happens naturally, like the tide reshaping sand. Your brain remembers, not through force, but through rhythm. Each slow wave of sleep carries traces of the day backward through your thoughts, allowing them to settle into calmer waters. It's as if the mind is whispering to itself, "Keep this, let that go." And as it whispers, your body rests. Some memories become brighter than others. When something moves you deeply, joy, fear, love, awe, the brain marks it with an extra stroke of emphasis. A small surge of chemistry strengthens the trace, like sunlight deepening the color of a photograph. That's why certain moments feel vivid, even years later. The warmth of a friend's voice, the sharp scent of rain, the first glimpse of dawn after a long night. They are not accidents of recollection. They are the mind's way of saying, "This mattered." But memory is not a perfect recording. It is fluid, flexible, alive. Each time you recall a moment, you rewrite it slightly. You add new emotion, new understanding, new light. Sometimes what we remember is less about what happened and more about what we've come to believe about it. And that's all right. Memory is not meant to be rigid. It's meant to help you grow. It softens the edges of pain, polishes the details of joy, and carries only what serves you forward. Suggestion, too, can gently bend memory's shape. A word, a tone, a story heard long ago, they can nudge the color of recollection, changing how it feels. The mind is not deceived, it's simply responsive. It prefers coherence over confusion, kindness over chaos. It wants your story to make sense, to feel continuous, to feel safe. That's why the past often softens as time passes. The details blur, but the meaning becomes clear. So tonight, you don't have to hold on to anything tightly. You can let the day fall away in soft focus. The things that need to stay will stay. The rest will drift off like mist. Imagine each memory as a small feather on waterlight, gliding carried gently downstream. There's no need to chase it. It will find its place. As your body grows still, the hippocampus hums quietly, gathering pieces of your day, sending them outward to other regions of your brain where they will take root. It's a beautiful choreography, fragments of sight, sound, thought, and feeling weaving into the tapestry of who you are. While you dream, those threads tighten. The mind is not asleep, it's weaving you back together. Sometimes you'll wake with a memory that feels new, a dream so vivid it lingers even after your eyes open. That too is part of the conversation. Dreams borrow from memory, but reshape it, combining pieces of past and imagination. They are your mind's poetry, a language made of images and emotion, not logic. You don't need to interpret it. You only need to feel the softness it leaves behind. And if some parts of the day were heavy, trust that sleep will help lift them. The brain knows how to wash away the excess, to ease what has weighed on you. It balances what's been learned with what must be forgotten, keeping you steady, giving you room to begin again. Sleep is not escape, it's renewal, the mind's quiet act of kindness. You can help it by doing nothing at all. Just breathe. Feel your chest rise and fall slow and steady. Let your thoughts blur at the edges, as if the focus of your inner lens is softening. Each exhale releases a little more of the day's noise. Each inhale invites calm to return. You're giving your brain permission to file the day away, to close the cover of this chapter and prepare for the next. Memory, like water, finds its own level. Even what feels forgotten may remain somewhere deep, transformed into wisdom, into instinct, into peace. The mind doesn't discard what matters, it reshapes it into something lighter to carry. Every night, it polishes the rough stones of experience into smooth pebbles of understanding. You won't remember each detail, but you'll wake knowing what you need to know. So let tonight's memories be soft focus. Let the mind keep what is gentle, what is kind, what is worth remembering. Let the rest dissolve into sleep. You don't have to fight to remember or struggle to forget. Your mind will decide for you, tenderly, patiently, the way the ocean chooses which shells to leave on the shore. Soon, your thoughts will become fragments, images, sensations, a half-remembered voice, a familiar scent, the feeling of drifting through light. That's the hippocampus finishing its work. The librarian closes the book of the day, places it quietly on the shelf, and dims the lights. The library falls still. Only the hum of night remains. And as you float towards sleep, remember you don't have to hold your memories. They already hold you. They are the gentle fabric of your being, rewoven each night, so you can wake anew. Let them rest now as you do. Let them find their place soft and light, somewhere between dreaming and dawn. Your mind is unlike any other. It gathers the world in its own quiet way through color, sound pattern, and memory, weaving experience into a tapestry that no one else can see exactly the same. The way you imagine, remember, and sense is uniquely yours, a private language spoken between your thoughts and the world around you. Tonight, as you rest, we'll wander softly through that inner landscape, not to measure it, not to define it, but simply to notice how beautifully varied the mind can be. Some people hear music and see colors, soft ripples of blue, in the sound of a cello, flashes of gold in a singer's voice. This is synesthesia, a gentle blending of senses. To those who experience it, sound and color are partners moving together like dancers in the dark. It reminds us that the boundaries between our senses are not as rigid as we imagine. The mind paints connections across invisible bridges, creating harmony where others see separation. Others hold memory like crystal, detailed, endless, perfectly preserved. They can tell you what the sky looked like years ago, what they wore, what song was playing the exact shape of the day. For most of us, memory is softer, a watercolor that fades at the edges, but for some it remains sharp and bright alive, as though time never truly passed. These vivid rememberers carry an archive of moments that others might forget, a living museum of days. And then there are minds that hold images differently. Some people close their eyes and see a full world inside a mind's eye that glows with light and shape. They can picture a loved one's face, a mountain they climbed, or the way morning light spilled across a floor. Others, however, see nothing at all, no inner pictures, no visual dream, yet their imagination still flourishes through sound, emotion, and words. This too is natural. The mind has many paths to wander. Some are painted, some are felt. All are beautiful. There's no single way to think. Some minds work in patterns, others in stories. Some arrange thoughts like puzzles, others like songs. Some are fast and bursting with ideas, others move slowly and deep like a tide that takes its time. Each mind finds its own rhythm, the one that fits the body. It inhabits the one that helps it make sense of the world. In your brain, there is a small space often called working memory, a kind of mental tabletop where thoughts gather to be shaped. When you're planning, recalling, deciding, or daydreaming, you're moving pieces around on that table. A word, an image, a number, a feeling. But the table isn't endless. It holds only a few pieces at a time, 5, maybe 7, before it feels full. That's not a flaw. It's part of your design. The mind keeps its workspace small, so it can stay balanced, focused, present. Sometimes you can make more room by grouping pieces together, arranging small thoughts into patterns or stories. It's like stacking books neatly so the table doesn't feel crowded. That's how memory grows stronger and why you can recall a phone number more easily when you break it into small groups. Your brain loves order. It loves rhythm. It loves simplicity. But tonight, you don't need to organize anything. The table can stay just as it is, or you can gently clear it. If your thoughts feel like clutter, if ideas are scattered like papers across a desk, you can imagine gathering them now. One by one, set them down beside you. You don't need to solve them or remember them. Just let them rest for the night. The morning will find them again, rearranged by the quiet intelligence that works while you sleep. Take a slow breath in. Let it fill the space between your thoughts. Now, exhale softly, like releasing a handful of small stones back into the sand. That's how the mind clears itself through rhythm, through breath, through trust. Your brain, even in stillness, is alive with gentle light. It hums softly, making connections tending to the garden of your experience. It's not a machine, but a living field, flexible, creative, endlessly curious. When one path grows crowded, it forms another. When one idea fades, it sprouts new ones. And when you rest, it reorganizes, strengthening what matters, letting the rest dissolve. In this moment, as you lie here, all the versions of thought within you, visual, emotional, musical, logical, are settling into balance. The part of you that dreams in color, the part that thinks in rhythm, the part that feels through silence, all of them are harmonizing, finding their shared tempo. You don't have to do anything to help. Just breathe and let them find one another again. Even the senses you aren't using, now your sight, your hearing, your touch continue to murmur softly in the background. The weight of the blanket, the faint sound of the night outside, the rhythm of your heartbeat, they are threads connecting you to the present. Your brain weaves those threads into calm, telling your body you are safe. And in that safety, your imagination will begin to wander. Maybe it will show you faint colors behind your eyelids or gentle shapes drifting through the dark. Maybe it will offer no pictures at all, only a feeling, a quiet awareness that you are floating in the soft current of thought. However, your mind presents the night to you. Let it be what it is. There's no correct way to sense or think, no wrong way to rest. As your breathing deepens, the table inside your mind grows emptier. The pieces that felt heavy are sliding away like leaves carried by water. The colors and sounds of the day are fading into quiet. Your awareness begins to drift inward, where the mind becomes lighter and more fluid. In this softness, even your memories loosen. They no longer need to stay in neat stacks or bright detail. They can blur and blend, ready to be reshaped by morning light. The mind that once busied itself with tasks and thoughts is now returning to its simplest rhythm, the steady pulse of being. And as you slip further into stillness, know this: you don't have to carry your mind perfectly. It knows how to rest. It knows how to reset. Whether you think in images or words, in music or silence, the same calm will find you. So breathe and let your inner world unfold as it wishes, vivid or dark, detailed or soft, empty or endless. There are many ways to sense and think, and all of them are enough. Tonight, your mind will choose the one that feels most peaceful, most natural, most kind. Let it. Let the table clear, the colors fade, and the music quiet. You are safe in the space between thought and dream, exactly where you need to be. There is a quiet intelligence in the body, a wisdom that listens, that responds, that knows how to soothe itself when given permission. Tonight will rest beside that wisdom. You don't need to think hard or focus sharply. Just allow these words to move gently through you like ripples across a calm lake. Your body already knows how to find balance. All you have to do is stop asking it to hurry. Scientists have long been fascinated by how the mind shapes what the body feels. Under hypnosis, for example, a person can ease real pain simply by shifting what they expect to feel. A burn may still exist, but the suffering around it fades. The brain, offered a gentler story, believes it, and in believing it, changes the chemistry of sensation. This isn't illusion, it's cooperation, mind and body meeting halfway to create relief. The same quiet collaboration happens with placebos. When someone takes a harmless pill but believes it will heal them, the body often responds as if it had received real medicine. Pain fades, anxiety softens, the brain releases its own natural balms, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, a cascade of chemistry born from trust. It's not weakness, it's grace. The belief itself becomes the cure. The body listens to what the mind whispers, and the mind, in turn, listens to the body's calm reply. This ability isn't magic, it's ancient. Every system within you is linked: breath to heartbeat, thought to muscle emotion, to pulse. A change in one thread vibrates through them all. You've felt it before, when a single thought tightens your chest or when a slow breath brings warmth to your hands. You are not separate from what you feel. You are a single instrument capable of retuning itself. Some people train this awareness more directly through a practice called biofeedback. With gentle sensors attached to the skin, they can watch their heartbeat temperature or breath on a screen and gradually learn to change it. When they relax, the numbers shift. The heart slows, the hands grow warmer, the breath deepens. Eventually, the screen becomes unnecessary. They've learned to listen inwardly. The signal is always there, the body has always been singing. You can borrow the spirit of those methods. Now, no wires, no screens, only attention and kindness. Begin with your jaw. Notice if it's holding tension, if the muscles feel tight beneath the skin. Let it soften. The mind follows where the body leads. When the jaw releases, thought begins to slow. Now your hands. They may not realize they've been clenching, holding the day's small tasks, even in rest. Uncurl your fingers. Feel the air move lightly across your palms. With that small motion, the body receives a signal. It's safe to let go. And then your breath. You don't have to deepen it right away. Just notice how it moves. The rise and fall, the gentle pause between inhale and exhale. Without effort, it will begin to lengthen on its own, like a tide finding its natural rhythm. Each breath tells your heart, you can slow down now. Each exhale tells your mind, you can rest. Belief at its heart is trust not in something distant, but in the body's quiet capacity to care for itself. When you believe that relaxation is possible, the nervous system listens. When you imagine warmth, the vessels open. When you picture calm, your heart adjusts its rhythm to match. It's the same principle that allows hypnosis to ease pain or placebo to soothe illness. Belief becomes instruction. Calm becomes chemistry. The brain's power to comfort itself is not superstition. It's biology, wrapped in kindness. Every slow breath lowers cortisol, the hormone of alertness. Every relaxed muscle sends signals upward, whispering to the mind, all is well. The loop continues, mind to body, body to mind, until they meet in stillness. That is what rest truly is, not sleep alone, but a harmony between thought and flesh. If you've ever watched someone fall asleep, you may have noticed how naturally this harmony unfolds. The shoulders drop first, then the breath steadies. The eyes flicker beneath closed lids. It's as if the body already knows the steps to this ancient ritual, waiting only for permission to begin. You can give that permission now. With each breath, the orchestra inside you slows its tempo. The drums of the heart quiet. The strings of thought soften their tone. You might imagine a small pool of light in your chest, warm, steady, pulsing with each heartbeat. With every breath, it expands slightly, then fades like the glow of embers. That light is your calm, your center, the steady rhythm beneath the noise of the day. You don't need to visualize it perfectly, just sense it, a feeling of gentle heat, of quiet energy, of safety. Let it spread through your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands. Let it drift into your stomach, your legs, your feet. Each exhale helps it travel further, bringing softness to every part of you. If your thoughts begin to wander, let them. They're only small ripples on the surface of a deeper lake. Beneath them, the water remains still. Awareness, belief, calm, they flow together, blending into one slow current. You don't need to stop thinking. You only need to let each thought float by unheld. The body is listening. It hears your slowing breath, your softened muscles, the ease in your heartbeat. It understands this language, the language of peace. It responds in kind. Adrenaline fades, blood vessels widen. The warmth of safety begins to fill you. Tonight, you don't have to force relaxation or summon sleep. You only need to allow the conversation between mind and body to continue gentle, patient, wordless. The tools you need are already within you. Belief, attention, breath. They are the most ancient medicines in existence. As you drift deeper, remember your body trusts you. It takes every signal you send, every softened muscle, every calm breath as truth. If you tell it, I am safe, it believes you. If you whisper, I am calm, it becomes calm. Now breathe again. Feel the jaw slacken a little more. The shoulders release. The heart settle into its slower rhythm. The chemistry of calm is already flowing, invisible, but real, a gentle tide moving through you. Sleep may come soon, or it may wait a while longer. Either way, you're resting now. You're participating in the same quiet art that hypnosis, placebo, and biofeedback all reveal the art of trust. You are not commanding your body, you are conversing with it. Each breath a sentence, each heartbeat a reply. Let that dialogue fade into silence. Let belief become peace and peace become rest. The mind, soothed by its own kindness, begins to drift. The body, reassured, follows. Together, they hum the soft music of surrender, a song older than thought, as gentle as sleep itself. There is a quiet narrator inside you, the voice that names, remembers wonders and dreams. Sometimes it speaks in full sentences, calm and clear. Sometimes it hums as a feeling or flickers as an image. However it arrives, it is your constant companion, walking beside you through every thought. Tonight, you don't need to control it or listen sharply. Just let it drift into the soft rhythm of rest as the inner voice begins to whisper more slowly, like language turning into breath. The words you use, even silently, shape what you notice. When you name something, you draw it into focus. A tree becomes more than shape and color. It becomes tree, a part of your world. The moment you speak it, inside or aloud, your brain lights up across many regions. At once, sound, memory, emotion, meaning. Language is not just communication, it's creation. It paints outlines around what was once only sensation. It tells the mind, this is real, this matters. In that way, every word you think builds a small piece of your reality. A gentle word softens the edges of perception. A harsh one can tighten them. The phrases you return to about yourself, about the world, become paths through the forest of thought. Walk them often enough, and they grow familiar. That's why speaking kindly, even inwardly, has power. The words you offer yourself are not decoration, they are direction. For those who live between languages, the mind learns to see the world from more than one window. A bilingual brain doesn't just translate, it shifts perspective. One language might sound softer, another more precise. One might carry the rhythm of childhood, the other the poise of adulthood. Switching between them is like walking through different kinds of light, each illuminating a different part of who you are. This flexibility builds quiet resilience, a way of thinking that can stretch and adapt, that keeps the mind young even as the body ages. There is no single right way to think. Some people narrate life in words, their minds filled with inner dialogue, gentle commentary, questions, reminders. Others think in pictures, sensations, or abstract shapes that have no language at all. Some feel their way through thought, emotion, first interpretation later. Each of these ways is perfectly complete. Thought doesn't need words to exist. It only needs awareness. If your inner voice speaks in words, you can imagine it softening now, its tone slowing, vowels stretching out like long waves. The chatter of the day quiets into low murmurs. The voice becomes less of a sound and more of a feeling, like wind moving through leaves or the low hum beneath a lullaby. You don't need to silence it completely. You only need to let it rest. And if your inner world is wordless, made of color, memory, or motion, let that be your language tonight. Perhaps you think in images, the flicker of candlelight, the outline of a distant horizon. Or perhaps you think in touch, in the warmth of the blanket, the steady beat of your pulse. Those are thoughts too, carried in a dialect older than speech. You don't have to translate them. You only have to feel them. Language is how the mind arranges its sensations. But before there were words, there was awareness. Long before you learned to speak, your brain knew the rhythm of your mother's voice, the tone of comfort and safety. Those patterns still live within you, deep intuitive, beyond vocabulary. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, you are returning to that wordless calm, to the first language you ever knew, the soft rhythm of sound and breath. Some people wonder what happens to the inner voice in sleep. It doesn't vanish, it transforms. In dreams, words become symbols, meanings drift, syntax dissolves into emotion. You might wake with a sentence that made perfect sense only moments ago, now fading like fog. The dreaming mind speaks in a language of its own, making one that doesn't need grammar or logic. It is the voice of intuition, painting the inner world in feelings instead of phrases. You can trust that voice too. It isn't separate from the waking one, it's simply deeper, slower, freer. When the day begins again, it will rise to the surface, ready to guide and interpret once more. But for now, it hums beneath you, the low melody of thought, continuing quietly in the dark. If you wish, you can try a small practice of quieting the mind's language. Imagine your thoughts as snow falling, each word a small flake drifting gently through the air. You don't need to stop them, just let them settle on the ground of your awareness. The flakes fall slower, softer until they blur into white stillness. Eventually, the landscape is silent, not empty, but peaceful. That is what it feels like when the inner voice rests. Let your breath become the only rhythm now. Inhale and imagine fresh words forming soft, kind ones. Exhale and let them dissolve into quiet. Repeat. Each breath rewrites the language of your body, replacing tension with calm. You are teaching your mind through the smallest gesture that silence can be as meaningful as sound. You might remember how a single gentle phrase can soothe the heart, a lullaby, a prayer, a simple, "It's all right." You can whisper such words to yourself, even silently. Let them be simple and true. I am safe. I am resting. I am here. The brain listens when you speak this way. It believes you. The chemistry of calm begins to flow again. The body understands. And if no words come, that's all right too. You can let thought itself dissolve, like ink spreading through water. The mind doesn't need to narrate what it feels. It can simply feel. Beneath the inner voice, there's always a deeper stillness, an awareness that doesn't speak, doesn't judge, doesn't name. That's where sleep begins. So as you lie here, let your language soften. Let your inner voice, however it sounds, become gentle and slow. The chatter of the day has done its work. It can rest now. There's nothing left to describe, nothing left to decide. Perhaps you can sense the space between words widening, the pauses growing longer, sweeter. The voice fades into a hum. The hum fades into breath, and the breath fades into silence. You are safe within that silence, surrounded by the quiet echo of all the languages your mind has ever spoken. Let them fall quiet, now one by one, until even thought is still. You don't have to try to sleep. You only have to listen to the silence that remains after language has finished speaking. It will cradle you the way words once did, gently, patiently, like snow settling over a resting world. While you sleep, your body rests, but your brain keeps working quietly and kindly, like a caretaker, moving through softly lit rooms. Even as your thoughts drift and dissolve deep inside, there is gentle activity unfolding, the unseen rhythm of cleansing, balancing, and renewal. You don't have to guide it or even notice it. It happens naturally, a nightly ritual older than memory, where the mind repairs itself in silence. In deep sleep, the brain begins its quiet housekeeping. Between each cell runs a network of tiny pathways, the glymphatic system through which fluid flows like a slow tide. As you sleep deeply, this tide strengthens, washing through the spaces between neurons, carrying away the day's waste, the tiny byproducts of thought and emotion. It's not just rest, it's restoration. The brain, cooled and calm, cleans itself in the hush of night. You can imagine it, if you like, millions of small waves moving gently across a vast coastline. Each one lifts what the day has left behind and carries it away, leaving the shores of your mind smooth and renewed. This is not a struggle or a task, it's an act of peace. The mind knows how to tend to itself, just as the heart knows how to beat, and the lungs know how to breathe. As deep sleep gives way to dream, another layer of night work begins. In REM sleep, that strange, vivid realm where stories form from fragments, the brain begins to soften the sharper edges of emotion. It takes what hurt, what worried, what lingered unresolved, and replays it in gentler scenes. The details may shift faces, blending settings, changing events, turning surreal, but the purpose remains the same: to practice, to process, to heal. Dreaming is your mind's way of rehearsing life safely. It tries out possibilities, rearranges meaning, finds emotional balance, without waking pain. That's why dreams can feel strange, yet comforting. Why sorrow can fade to something softer by morning. Your brain isn't trying to confuse you, it's protecting you, giving difficult feelings new shapes until they can be set down. There's a quiet beauty in how much of this happens without your effort. You don't have to think about cleansing your brain or soothing your heart. You only have to rest, and the night will do the rest. It's a kind of faith to surrender your consciousness for hours and trust that you will wake clearer, lighter, rebalanced. Every creature that sleeps shares this trust. It is one of the oldest rhythms in nature. The environment around you can help too. Just as the ocean needs still water to reflect the stars, your mind needs calm surroundings to do its work. Let your room become a gentle signal that the day is over. A cooler temperature helps the body slip into sleep's rhythm. A faint, steady hush, the distant hum of a fan. The rustle of air tells the nervous system that all is well. Dim the light until the world feels quiet again. Scents can whisper softly to your dreaming mind too. A familiar fragrance, lavender, clean linen, or the faint memory of rain can serve as a promise you are safe. The brain connects smell with memory more deeply than almost any other sense. A calm scent can anchor you in comfort, even as your awareness drifts far away. Like a gentle hand on your shoulder, it reminds you that you are home. Sounds can do the same. The brain remains slightly alert to sound, even in dreams. That's why music, soft wind, or the murmur of a calm voice can weave their way into your dream world. They don't wake you, they accompany you. The right tone can turn a restless night into a quiet journey, one where your mind and body work together toward balance. Tonight, think of your room as a kind collaborator in this night work. The sheets that hold your shape, the air that touches your skin, the dim glow of the walls, they all speak the same language of calm. You don't need perfection. You only need to feel that the space around you is kind. That kindness gives your mind permission to release what it no longer needs to carry. As your body begins to sink deeper, your breathing naturally slows. The heart follows its rhythm, softening like a drum, fading into distance. These shifts are signals, messages from the body to the brain. We are safe. Begin the cleaning. Begin the dreaming. Each slow wave of deep sleep brings another cycle of restoration. The mind becomes a tide pool, gentle currents moving through it, washing thought and emotion clean. You may not remember this work when you wake, and that's part of its magic. The brain does not boast of its labor. It works quietly, leaving only the feeling of clarity behind. You wake with a mind that feels open, as if something heavy has been lifted, though you couldn't say what. That's the mark of good sleep, not what you recall, but what you've released. Even dreams that seem strange or fragmented belong to this healing. A dream where you are lost but calm, where you fly or float, where something once frightening becomes gentle. All of these are part of the brain's conversation with itself. You don't need to decipher them. You only need to trust that they have purpose, that they are part of the night's tender repair. As you rest, imagine your thoughts becoming lighter. The worries of the day, the lists and noise, dissolve into smaller pieces. The tide comes in, and with it cleansing. The shore of your mind becomes smooth again. What needs to stay? The wisdom, the love, the quiet joy will remain. What needs to go will fade, carried off by the rhythm of sleep's slow waves. The night is not empty. It's full of small, devoted movements, the gentle wash of memory, the careful sorting of feeling, the slow renewal of every cell. You are not inactive. When you sleep, you are being restored. The mind is at work, so you don't have to be. So breathe now, unhurried, deep calm. Let the air feel cool against your skin, the pillow cradle your head, the blanket hold your warmth. Let your room become a quiet tide pool of peace. The brain knows what to do. You only need to trust it. And as the last traces of wakefulness drift away, imagine the gentle tide within you, rising, cleansing, carrying the day away. The night's work has begun. You can rest now, knowing the mind will keep watch, polishing the edges of thought, softening the heart, washing you clean in the quiet rhythm of sleep. The mind, for all its brilliance, is also a tender thing, an instrument of light stretched over fragile strings. Tonight we'll wander softly through its stranger corners, not to be frightened, but to understand how delicately it holds our sense of being. Consciousness is not a fortress, it's a garden that sometimes changes shape, and even when its paths twist unexpectedly, the garden still grows toward calm. There are moments when the brain, that quiet conductor of thought, stumbles on its own timing. After a stroke, awareness can tilt, and the world may feel slightly rearranged. Colors shift, faces blur, the sense of direction flickers. It is not a failure. It's the brain rewiring itself, trying to find a new way to play the same song. You can imagine it as a small orchestra, briefly out of tune, slowly finding harmony again. Every note of recovery, even the uneven ones, is part of that music. Sometimes the body acts before the mind gives permission. A condition known as alien hand syndrome can cause one hand to move with a will of its own, buttoning a shirt, touching an object, undoing what the other hand just did. For the person inside, it feels like being accompanied, by a quiet stranger who lives within their skin. Yet even in this strange dance, the movements are not malicious. They are echoes of neural bridges misfiring, sending messages without meaning to. A reminder that the body and mind, though partners, sometimes lose step for a moment before reuniting. Then there are gentler illusions, the brain's attempts to make sense of what no longer fits its map. Some people, after injury or illness, look at a loved one and feel a deep, unsettling unfamiliarity. Their eyes see, but the heart does not recognize. The bridge between visual recognition and emotional memory has gone quiet. The face looks right, but something in the melody of connection is missing. The brain, ever logical, concludes this must be an imposter. It's called capgras, delusion, a symptom not of cruelty or madness, but of disconnection, one circuit dimmed while others keep glowing. Even more fragile are the moments when the mind turns its question inward and doubts itself. A rare condition called Cotard's delusion can leave a person certain they are dead or hollow inside, that their body is an empty house, their heart no longer beating. It sounds tragic, but even here, science sees a pattern of misplaced signals, an imbalance between awareness and feeling. The person is alive, profoundly alive, but their inner mirror has fogged. When it clears again, the simple act of feeling breath can feel like resurrection. All these phenomena, the misplaced hand, the unfamiliar face, the fleeting loss of self, are not horrors, but humble reminders. Consciousness is delicate, yes, but also brave. It bends and repairs itself. It creates meaning from silence, structure from chaos. It keeps searching for light, even when part of it has gone dim. You might think of it like a candle flame, trembling in the breeze, flickering, but refusing to go out. Even in ordinary life, awareness can shift in small, harmless ways. You've felt it before when your name sounds strange after you repeat it too many times, or when you look in the mirror and feel a brief distance from your reflection. These are gentle ripples at the edge of perception, the mind testing its boundaries. They remind us that the self we feel is a balance, a story written moment by moment, stitched together by memory, sensation, and trust. There is nothing to fear in these strange corners. The brain's oddities are proof of its devotion. How hard it works to make a coherent world for you, even when its signals cross. Like an artist repainting after a storm, it fills in missing pieces so you can keep walking through reality with grace. And sometimes, when it paints slightly outside the lines, it shows us just how mysterious this thing called consciousness really is. If your thoughts ever feel unusual, a little too loud, too fast, or slightly unfamiliar, meet them with patience, not panic. Remember that the mind, like the sea, has currents and tides. Sometimes the surface stirs, but beneath it, the deep waters stay calm. You can always return to that depth through the simplest of gestures, slow breathing. Try it now. Let the breath enter gently through your nose, cool, light, effortless. Hold it for a moment, just enough to feel the stillness behind it. Then release slowly, as if exhaling through water. With every breath, you're giving the brain what it needs most: oxygen, rhythm, reassurance. The circuits begin to steady themselves. The waves of thought once scattered fall into a quieter pattern. In the stillness between breaths, notice how awareness feels, not sharp or focused, but open and wide. You don't have to hold your mind together, it holds you. The strange and the familiar, coexist within it, both belonging to the same beautiful system that allows you to see, feel, and dream. Consciousness isn't a straight line, it's a shimmering web full of gentle connections. Scientists can map its signals, trace its chemistry, describe its structures, but even they admit that something in it remains beyond definition. Perhaps that mystery is what makes it so tender. You are made of matter, yet you can wonder. You are made of cells, yet you can love. You are made of fleeting electrical sparks, yet you can imagine eternity. What a delicate, dazzling thing that is. So if the mind sometimes stumbles or spins or wanders, forgive it. It is learning always, learning how to be itself. You can help it, not by tightening, but by softening. Let the breath stay slow. Let the thoughts unwind without judgment. The brain loves rhythm, the steady pulse of inhale, exhale, the quiet beat of the heart echoing beside it. That is its favorite song. As you lie here now, your awareness might flicker dim or dissolve into dreams. That's not loss, that's transformation. The mind doesn't stop. When you sleep, it only changes tempo. What feels like silence is simply another form of motion, one where consciousness rests in its own quiet depths. You can let that happen without resistance. There's no need to stay alert, no need to understand. Just trust that your mind, even in its strangest corners, is still your ally. It is built to protect you, to heal you, to find its way back to balance. Now breathe again. In, out. The gentle work continues inside you. Awareness hums softly steady and kind. The fragile and the brave coexist there, two halves of the same light. And as that light begins to fade toward sleep, know this, even in mystery, you are safe. Even in strangeness, you are whole. Let the corners of the mind grow quiet. Let the room blur into stillness. Let thought soften to warmth. The strange becomes gentle. The delicate becomes calm. You are drifting now, carried, understood, held into the most peaceful of places, the quiet heart of consciousness itself. Somewhere in the quiet, between thought and dream, there lives a gentle question, one that philosophers have carried for centuries. What is consciousness? They call it the hard problem, because no one can quite explain how awareness so intimate and vivid can arise from the soft machinery of the brain. Is it a spark, a current, or something older, something woven through nature, itself glimmering faintly in every atom and star? You don't need to know. You only need to feel it. The mystery that breathes through you and around you, the same calm thread that binds all living things. Take a breath. Now, slow, easy. Feel how air moves through you, how it steadies and cools the spaces that once held noise. The body grows heavier, the edges softer. The day, with all its brightness and striving, begins to fade. You are not leaving it behind, you are simply letting it rest. The world will wait. The night is here to hold you now. Consciousness, this quiet awareness that watches and wonders, doesn't need to stay alert all the time. Like the ocean that swells and retreats, it has its own rhythm of waking and dissolving. Even as your thoughts slow, even as your attention drifts outward and then inward, something deep within you remains aware, a soft pulse, a gentle light behind closed eyes. It doesn't demand focus, it only invites peace. You can imagine that light now, small golden, like a lantern, glowing behind mist. Each breath feeds. It keeps it alive just enough to guide you through the dark. But as sleep approaches, the light begins to dim, not because it's fading, but because it's safe to rest. The mind no longer needs to observe every detail or hold every name. It can loosen its circle and trust the body to take over. Breathing, heartbeat, warmth all continue without effort. Awareness doesn't disappear. It curls inward, finding comfort in stillness. If philosophers are right, and consciousness is somehow woven into the universe itself, then you are never separate from it. You are not falling away from awareness. As you sleep, you are sinking into the greater version of it, the quiet field that connects everything. The same awareness that watches through your eyes also glimmers in the sea and the trees, in the calm hum of stars burning far away. To rest, then, is not to vanish. It is to return to be gently folded back into the vastness that made you. The brain, for all its complexity, finds its peace in simplicity. It doesn't need answers at this hour. It needs rhythm. Breath in, breath out, breath in again. Each exhale is an untying. Each inhale is a soft arrival. You can feel it, the muscles surrendering the weight of your body, pressing more fully into the bed, the air around you growing thicker with quiet. The night holds you like water holds a leaf, floating supported, entirely safe. There is a kindness in unknowing. You don't have to solve what consciousness is or where it goes when you dream. You only need to let it flow from thought into image, from image into rest. The mind knows how to drift, how to release its hold on structure. It begins with the breath, then spreads into the shoulders, the chest, the arms, the legs. Each exhale tells your body it's time to loosen. Each moment of silence deepens the letting go. The night has its own heartbeat, steady and patient. You can almost feel it, the low pulse of the earth, turning the faint whisper of wind beyond your window. It's the same rhythm that hums in your veins, the same song that guided your ancestors as they lay beneath open skies, breathing the same air, feeling the same wonder. You are part of that long lineage of rest a soul within a continuum of quiet. Thoughts may still flicker, small and bright like distant stars refusing to fade. Let them. You don't need to chase them away. They'll dim on their own. The mind doesn't shut off. Suddenly, it settles like dust after a sigh. The last ideas of the day will find their place, a memory here, a question there, before dissolving into the deeper water of dream. Sleep is not the end of consciousness. It is its soft unfolding. When you dream, your awareness reshapes itself into stories. When you sink into deep sleep, it folds completely, becoming pure rest. And yet, even in that stillness, something continues, the quiet hum of being alive. That hum is ancient. It's what every creature carries when it curls up for the night, the soft reminder that existence is still here, that life continues in the dark. Now notice your breath again. It's slower now. Each inhale feels like a wave coming to shore. Each exhale feels like that wave returning to sea. There's no rush, no effort. The rhythm carries you without thought. You are breathing not just for yourself, but with the entire universe, every tree exhaling, every tide moving, every star burning quietly in the night. The edges of awareness are thinning now. The lantern light inside you glows faintly, then flickers. It doesn't need to burn bright. It's enough that it glows enough, that it warms the heart before sleep. You can trust it to stay even as the mind drifts into shadow, It will be there when you wake, the same gentle spark that has always guided you through morning light and evening dark. You may notice small sensations, a tingle in your hands, a slight sway in your thoughts, as if you're beginning to float. That's your awareness loosening its grip. It's the moment just before sleep, when everything feels softer, less defined. Let it come. You don't have to hold on to wakefulness anymore. There is a deep comfort in surrender, in knowing that the universe doesn't ask you to stay alert forever, that it welcomes you even now into its quiet rhythm. As your mind begins to blur, imagine the stars above you, each one a gentle pulse of consciousness, vast and serene. You are among them, a smaller light within the same infinite sky. Let your eyes close fully. Let your breathing deepen. Let your body become part of the night's slow exhale. The questions of the mind can rest. Now their answers can wait until morning. Good night, small soul. Your awareness can dim like a gentle lantern, and sleep will carry you the rest of the way. You are safe. You are loved. You are returning quietly into the soft mystery from which all thought and all dreaming begin. Rest now. The world is holding you. The stars are keeping watch. And consciousness, that tender, endless thread, is humming softly beneath it all, waiting for you to join its quiet song once more.